If you love $9 Monday and $2 Tuesday, you're really going to appreciate our new Throwback Thursday when all daily packages are slashed in half. Yes, you heard right. At both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, all Thursday daily packages are now 50% off. This means that a 4% package will be only $12.50. A 5% top-rated play, normally priced at $35, will be only $17.50. And the hottest sales item of the day, get a full day of access from the handicappers of your choice. That's one day of every applicable play they release, including any 5% best bets, normally priced at $39, for only $19.50. The best part is you can come back every Thursday to take advantage of this limited time 50% off spring off.
Happy Tuesday, guys. Welcome to WagerTalk TV. I am Carmine Bianco, and this is Stoppage Time. It is Champions League week. League one, great. I can't remember at least the last 3-4 years a quarterfinal round matchups and some very good ones. Man City, Bayern Munich, Benfica, Inter Milan, AC Milan, Napoli, and Real Madrid and Chelsea renew their bit of a rivalry. With me from WagerTalk.com, it's Kevin Dolan and Bryan Power. And filling the sports memo seat this week, it is Pavlos Lagaretos. Let's bring the boys in. Yeah, I'm going to go to you first. Frankie boy, his return to Chelsea did not go as well as planned.
Definitely not, Carmine. I just like to say the wife kicked me out of my main office, so that's where you've got the background now behind me. My Mike Tyson shorts are gone. I'm not happy about it, but definitely not the start Frank Lampard would have wanted. Chelsea just looked so inept going forward. Thankfully, wasn't on my card, so I just sat there watching it in kind of more disbelief than being part of it. We had a lovely 5% winner in Aston Villa over the weekend, so I was happy with that. Took them a while to get going, but they finished off the game 2-0. And we went 7-1 on Saturday also. We had winners in South Korea, Germany, Italy, 3-0 sweep in MLS as well. So everything going well right now. And I'm hoping things cheer up for Frank as well. But looking to do some more damage on the midweek yard as well.
Awesome, man. Great to hear about your run. Keep it going. And at the end of the second game, we'll have a promo for you. So if you want to get Kevin's plays, you can take advantage of that promo. Bryan, basketball season's over. Baseball season's in full flight right now. And, of course, European soccer. How are things been with you?
Great, Carm. Had a 5% winner myself on Sunday. As those who follow me know, don't have a ton of 5% plays across any sport necessarily. We like to keep them the number pretty low. It was actually the first 5% play we had in soccer going all the way back to August. We made it count, and boy, do I know how to pick them with Stuttgart, a nice relegation 6-pointer in the Bundesliga. Nothing like taking the last place team, but they are last place no more. So that was a nice winner that we had over the weekend. Baseball's going real nice, 8-4 the last 9 days. Did have a loser last night. I cannot believe who killed my moneyline parlay. It was the Angels of all teams to lose to Washington with Patrick Corbin on the mound. It's disgusting, but we move on to Tuesday in baseball and NBA playoffs. Don't need to tell Kevin. They start tonight as well with the play-in tournament. I am playing both games on Tuesday. So it's a very busy Tuesday, MLB, NBA, and we're going to have a best bet up as soon as I'm done here for Wednesday Champions League as well. So looking forward to the week.
Awesome. Great to hear. And sometimes there's some beauty in those dog games, those ones that the teams look horrible. Switching to a different sport, hockey on Saturday, 5% play on Arizona, a team that had lost 26 of the last 27 games on the road, returned home, and we're still on a massive losing streak, but you just find them against another bad team, which they were playing in Anaheim, and you get the win. That's all that really matters. Pavlos, how are things for you, my friend?
Really good. I went 5-2 over the weekend, made some profit. However, one of the two lost matches was lost 5% on Sporting Kansas City. I believe they played better, and the stats say so that they played better than Colorado, but they ended up losing. But still, we made some profit over the weekend, and we're looking to continue this week with a 5% in Champions League tonight. You can get it. Actually, I have two 4% spread bets, all packaged in one single package. So you can get with for $39, you can get 3 big plays for tonight. And I'm super excited to talk some soccer with you guys, because these are some of the most exciting matches of the season.
They definitely are, and let's get right to it, guys. Quite a few games for us to discuss, and we will do the Man City Bayern Munich game first. A look at the opening numbers on this one, and Man City was minus 134. The draw was plus 302. Bayern Munich plus 342 in this game. And if you look at the live lines, some action has, of course, come in on Man City. The current live lines on our WagerTalk live lines feed, which has a ton of books, and it is a very good tool for you to use, and it's absolutely free. City are now up to minus 165 on the last update that just occurred. The draw is up to plus 318 from 302, and Bayern Munich from 342 to 431. If you like Munich, you are getting a great price. I'm going to make it short and sweet in this one in talking about this game. These are two teams. Whenever you see a couple of teams like this, and we saw it when PSG played Bayern Munich, you see Man City scoring 5-6 goals a game. It almost seems like they're scoring 5 or 6 goals a game. Bayern Munich rolling over pretty much every single team in the Bundesliga, and you figure they're going to get on the field and it translates into goals. But sometimes they turn into cagey affairs, and you just don't want to lose the tie in leg one. And this is one of those ones where it feels like I think Munich are coming here looking to get any type of a result from this one. I think it's going to be a tighter game with not a ton of scoring chances. And this very well could finish in a draw. I wouldn't be surprised if it finished in that 1-1 draw, which is one of the lowest prices as far as the exact score prices. I'm leaning to a lower scoring game, and because of that, I'm taking the plus a half with Bayern Munich. I think it's the right play here, and that plus a half could actually now be slightly higher with the money coming in on the City, and I will check this real quick for you guys. The line right now is City is now a goal favorite on our consensus lane juice of -1 plus 105 on City right now. So I'm taking a plus half a goal. That was obviously the play as of last night, but you're now getting them +1 lane 25% juice. I like that even more. I don't see this being bigger than a 1-goal spread on this game today at 3 p.m. Eastern. So give me Bayern Munich as a dog in this one, and I'll go to Kevin Dolan for his thoughts.
This is the only game I didn't fire on in the midweek Champions League card. Although I'm getting interested the higher the line goes, but just basically for 2 reasons. I already have that futures ticket on Bayern that I mentioned earlier. So I'd rather just be a kind of spectator in there. This one, cheer on the German side, because whoever makes it out of this tie, no disrespect to Madrid or Napoli, but they'll be the heavy favourites to go on and win it overall. And number 2, for me, at the opening line at least, it was the hardest game on the board to predict. Manchester City have just been an absolute freight train at home across 2023. They're basically flatlining everybody. They face 9-game winning run now at home across all competitions. But they've outscored opponents 34-4 across that 9-game run as well. Like 34-4. That's some Ivan Drago type numbers right there. And if that wasn't a dangerous enough stat, we just saw Haaland bag a brace of the weekend against Southampton and then come off early in that game to prepare for this one. So, Manchester City look on some dominant form right now. They face a Bayern team in this one that, haven't been their best defensively. They've kept just 2 clean sheets across all competitions since February. And they only have a 50% win rate on the road in the league since September as well. So, all signs kind of point to City in this from a stats and numbers perspective at least. But, by the same token, we also know how good Thomas Tuchel has been in this competition also. He won it 2 years ago with Chelsea. He was only in the job 6 months at that stage. He should have won it the year before with PSG as well. They were the better team in that final against Bayern. And he almost pulled off that Hail Mary pass once again last year against eventual winners Real Madrid in the Bernabeu also, which again, I thought they were the better team across the two legs. So, this is the worst draw possible for both teams here. City are the strongest team in Europe right now. And while Munich mightn't match them in form, they certainly have the personnel and pedigree to compete here, along with having a manager who's enjoyed recent, hoodoo success over Pep as well. So we sent in these lines this morning. Obviously, when I sent them in, City were minus 135 at that price. I thought City, that's the way I would lean. If I had to make a bet, I'd take City minus 135. Now at minus 165, I'm starting to go the other way. If you get a plus goal on Bayern, that might be the side to take. But this is still a tricky game, so I'm going to leave it alone.
Yeah, and Kev, you look at the results for Bayern Munich this season. I get it. City are a very good team, and there were the odds on to win this competition. I think you have some Bayern Munich futures as well too. I believe you do. But you look at some of the results. You look at the results for Bayern Munich this season in Champions League, and 2-0 over Inter Milan, 2-0 over Barcelona, 5-0 over Plizen, 4-2 over Plizen as well too, 3-0 over Barcelona, 2-0 over Inter Milan, and then they beat PSG over two legs in the round of 16, 1-0 in France and 2-0 at home. This is a team throughout this competition who have only allowed 2 goals, and that came in one game. They have looked absolutely spectacular. Obviously, City are a step up, but PSG had some stars as well too, and they were able to shut them down in both games. Would you look at the total at all, Kev, before I move on to the second game?
Yeah, I would lean with you. Again, if I had to play the total, under 3 seems safe enough. But then I say safe, but it's just that defensive record for Bayern recently. Obviously, Tuchel's going to tighten them up at the back. You would expect that, but still, it scares me off enough with that kind of back three. As good as they are for Bayern, City should be able to penetrate them here.
Yeah, and that's always the scary thing in trying to take totals or possibly unders with any game involving Man City is that in a matter of minutes they can blow the doors off of a game with that talented midfield with Kevin De Bruyne, of course, center forward Erling Haaland, who's scoring at will in this competition as well. I'm going to throw out, and I do it every show, I throw out an exact score, and I'm going to throw out the exact score in this game. 1-1 final plus 700. Not a bad price if you want to throw a little pizza money in. And if you watched last Thursday's show, I gave out the 2-1 result in the Tottenham and Brighton game, and it finishes 2-1. That was plus 1,000 or 10-1 on your money. So that's a lot of pizza, boys. Let's try for it again. All right, let's move on to the second game being played today. Benfica and Inter Milan. We'll have a look at the numbers on this one. The opener, Benfica, plus 114. The draw, plus 231. Inter Milan, plus 261 in this one. Our live lines, of course, we've seen some action in this game as well, too. Benfica are up to plus 124. You're getting a little bit of plus money on them. The draw has come down to now 225 from that 231, and Inter from 261 are now down to plus 246. The total here at 2.5, shaded to the under, minus 130. Bryan, I'm going to go to you first on this one. I watched the Inter Milan game on the weekend. They did not look good in that game. A 1-1 draw. They're struggling right now in Serie A, and there's teams below them fast approaching for that final Champions League spot. Where are you looking at in this game? Benfica's they played fantastic in this competition thus far. Can we get away from them? I don't think they have lost a game as of yet in this competition.
That's correct, Carm. They're one of only 3 teams not to lose a game in the Champions League. The other 2 would be Man City and Bayern, who you guys just so eloquently broke down there. And based on recent form, Benfica clearly is attractive at this price at home, right? They do lose over the weekend in the league to Porto, but that was their first domestic defeat going all the way back to New Year's Eve. It's their first home loss in 20 matches overall. So The idea that they would lose 2 in a row, I wouldn't be betting on that. And then, Carm, as you alluded to, you've got to talk about what they've done so far in the Champions League. Just mentioned, only one of 3 sides to be unbeaten in the competition, 6 wins and 2 draws. They win a group that includes PSG and Juventus. They crush Bruges in the round of 16, 7-1 on aggregate. Then you go over to the inner side. You talk about how they're struggling, Carm. Winless over their last 6 competitions, 3 losses, 3 draws. But I am going to look at the both teams to score prop here. We'll start with Benfica because this is a little easier. Only Napoli scored more goals in the Champions League this season. Napoli has 25, Benfica has 23. And Benfica, going back to their home record, they've scored a goal in 21 straight home matches, getting a variety of contributors as well. In the Champions League, one thing that they've done well, and these numbers are per Opta, they have the most shot-ending high turnovers in this competition and tied with Napoli for the most goal-ending high turnovers with 5. Been very efficient in that regard. You turn to the Inter side now. They were able to hold Porto goalless over the 2 legs, right? They advanced 1-0 on aggregate in the round of 16. But since then, they've conceded a goal in every match. And going back to those numbers I just mentioned for Benfica, I'm quite confident they're going to score. So I guess the question is, can Inter score here? You talked about Friday against Salernitana, Carm. It was a comedy of errors, I thought. They hit the post, they hit the crossbar. The goalkeeper for Salernitana was playing out of his mind, really had himself an afternoon. Inter actually created 3.0 XG in that match. I know it's a big jump going from Salernitana to Benfica, but I really, looking at the underlying metrics, believe, and this is going to be a theme on today's show because we know who's coming up, Inter is due for some positive goal-scoring regression. Over the last 4 Serie A matches, they've scored just twice on 10.6 XG. I am going to go with the both teams to score yes between Inter and Benfica here. I do believe Inter will get on the score sheet. Whether or not they win, I don't know. But as Pavlos would say, I don't care.
I love it.
Nice.
I don't care who wins as long as they both score at least 1. I love that angle as well too. Pavlos, I'm going to go to you for the final word on this game. Listen, Benfica, I think, have gone, where are we here? 10 wins, 2 draws in this competition because they did have to go through 2 rounds of qualifying. First of all, they had the 3rd round of qualifying where they won both games, and then the playoff round where they played Dynamo Kiev, wins there, and then they've won every single game as well too, with the exception of in the group stages 2 1-1 draws with Paris Saint-Germain. This team is playing extremely well. They're having a fantastic season in the Premier League in Portugal as well too. Do they get the win here, or do they share the points? Inter needs to get something out of Lautaro Martinez. He just looks off form to me right now. He's not playing well. Does he step it up in this game?
Lautaro Martinez specifically, I believe he scored in 7 of his last 8 matches when he plays in the Champions League with Inter. So he seems to step up in Champions League matches. But there's something definitely wrong with this Inter Milan side. As you guys said, the equalizing goal against Salernitana on Friday wasn't even a shot. It was a weird shot, and somehow Inter Milan conceded that. They're not as bad as the recent results might suggest, but Simone Inzaghi is on the hot seat, and rumors say that if Inter Milan lose tonight against Benfica, he's going to be fired. And there's a whole list of candidates that will likely substitute him. Antonio Conte, Roberto De Zerbi, even Porto's Sergio Conceição is considered as a substitute. But yeah, Benfica really strong. Especially at home this season. But this is a very tricky match. I don't really agree with the odds on Benfica moneyline because Inter Milan are not as bad as the recent results suggest. Now, this is a very tricky match to predict, but I will go with a player prop that also paid us in the previous round. I'm going to take João Mario to score anytime at plus 275. Now, if you shop around, there's prices at plus 180, plus 250. I found plus 275 at Barstool, and I'm passing this prop, guys. Keep in mind that I gave this exact same prop on March 7th Stoppage Time show, and it was a winner, of course. There's a whole lot of reasons why I like Joao Mario to score anytime. He scored 6 goals in the Champions League so far, 23 goals in the season. He's the second best scorer for Benfica in all competitions. He scored in 5 consecutive Champions League matches. The only player to score in 7 consecutive matches was Eusebio back in the 60s or whatever. So there is a very big record for Joao Mario to break. He needs just 2 more goals. He's the designated penalty kick taker. He averages 1 shot on target per game all season in all competitions. And the best thing, I saved it for last. This is a revenge game for Joao Mario. He was at Inter between 2016 and 2019. He didn't really get a lot of playing time, and he really wants to prove himself. There's a whole lot of underlying reasons why I like Joao Mario to score anytime. The price is massive. So I'm smashing, guys. Joao Mario to score anytime plus 275 tonight in Benfica.
All right, I like it, Pavlos. Let me ask you a question. I'm looking, as you were talking, I'm looking at some of the goal-scoring props as well, too. And you look at someone who has scored 20 goals this season for Benfica in the Premier League and in Champions League, which is Ramos. And he's plus, on Bet365, he's plus 200 to score an anytime goal. Would you grab that price? Because that seems like an attractive price.
Yeah, anything, what is plus 200? Yes. Anything over plus 170, plus 180. Whenever you have a team like Benfica playing at home in really good form, on a bounce back spot after that loss to Porto, I think, yes, Gonzalo Ramos and Joao Mario are the 2 most possible candidates for Benfica to score. But, I just like Ramos. I like Mario, for the reasons that I stated before. And he's a designated penalty kick taker. And I don't really trust this Inter Milan defense. So they might, kick somebody in the wrong way inside their penalty area. So, yeah, both are really good. Both are really good.
Let me tell you why you like him, Pavlos, Joao Mario. You like him because I think on one of our previous shows, it might have been a couple of weeks ago, you took for there to be a penalty in the game and for Joao Mario to score, and there was a penalty, and he took the penalty and scored. So you hit both those props on the show. So good on you, and just keep popping out those winners, man. I think everyone, your clients appreciate, and everyone watching the show appreciates them as well. Guys, before we get into the third game, which is an all-Italy affair, all-Serie A affair, I want to mention the promo that we have up, and this is good till the end of the weekend, I believe. 6 weeks of soccer for only $199. This is going to take you right into the end of May, which coincides pretty much with the end of all the domestic leagues in Europe, and most of, if not all of this competition up until the finals of Champions League, Europa League, and the Europa Conference League. This is a package that normally goes for $357. You get it for $199. 6 weeks of soccer for $199 for any one of the cappers on this show. And Nick Borman, who I will mention, has a 5% play up in Champions League today over at Sports Memo, so you can pick that one up as well. All right, guys, let's head into the third game. 3 teams in the quarterfinal round of this Champions League competition are from Italy's Serie A. Only 1 team missing of the 4 that qualify. We won't even talk about them right now. They're still in the Europa League, of course, in Juventus. But it is AC Milan and Napoli. The odds on this one, AC Milan plus 182. The draw is plus 223. Napoli plus 161. A little bit of movement off the openers. AC Milan is now down to plus 174. Napoli is up to 171. And the draw is at down from 223 to 220. So not much movement there. Kev, I'm going to make it quick on this one. When I see a team like Napoli, who's been playing extremely well all season, lose a game in the way and the manner in which they lost at Diego Armando Maradona Stadium a couple of weeks ago to this AC Milan team where they lost 4-0. I just have to take them the next time these two teams meet, and it just happens to be leg 1 of Champions League. Milan have been doing it well. They've been winning games. A much easier schedule per se for the ones that they've been winning. And of course, when you're looking at this Napoli team, we have to mention a couple players missing for this Napoli squad who have been missing for the last couple of weeks. For the last few games for them, Victor Osimhen and Giovanni Simeone will not be playing in this game. They have been ruled out. But this is still a team with a lot of tools, a lot of their midfield. I love their midfield. I love their attack. They've been playing extremely well. And I just drawing a line straight through that 4-0 defeat at home and have to believe that they are going to go and get a result there. Now, you can take this as a pick-em. And if the game ends in a draw, it is a push on the bet. But I'm taking them to win outright. I think they get the win here. They've been just cruising along in this competition as one of the best teams in this competition, and I'm going to take them here. So they're plus 171 now. The opener line, which you'll see on the screen during our leans, will say 161, and that's the line we'll use. But give me Napoli plus 161 to go to San Siro and come away with a leg one victory. Kev, are you going with me or against me?
I'm with you, Carmine, but I don't like following after you because I always look like I've got no balls because I'm taking Napoli, but I'm going for the safer pick'em line. I don't have the stones to go on the money line. But I've already fired in this game. I thought the line was a little bit off. I'm same reasons as you. I like Napoli here, but especially getting the draw as a push as well. AC Milan just been such a roller coaster this year. You know, to put Tottenham into the Champions League. I don't think many people expected that. But the next game, they draw to Salernitana, then they smash Napoli, as you said, 4-0. Then they can't even score against Empoli. So, when Milan click and turn it on, they really do look like a dangerous outfit, Rafael Leo especially. But we just haven't seen it often enough. And as you mentioned at the start, you know what you're getting from Napoli most of the time. They're such a dependable team. They're the most informed team in the whole of Europe over the season as a whole. Consistently good week in, week out. They have gone through a mini slump, you would say, with that performance against Milan. They did look shoddy in that game. They didn't look great against Lecce on Friday either. But we know in their defence, look, they're not really all that concerned about league form right now, bar an absolutely seismic level collapse. The title race is already over, so full concentration is going to be on this competition. I am a bit concerned about Osimhen's absence ahead of this one. He is such a key piece in that attack, but it's already been factored into the line. We wouldn't be getting this line if he was starting here. And Napoli, 8 straight wins now on the road heading into this game. They scored a minimum of 2 goals in each of those road wins as well. And they've already beaten AC Milan in each of their 3 visits to the San Siro also. So, like you, I'm quite happy to take Napoli in this one. As I said, not the stones to take them on the money line, but very happy to take them at a pick'em line here, as I expect them to get the job done.
Listen, Kev, I get it. Listen, and it's probably the right thing to do is to take the pick'em line. I think if you're watching this show and you're listening to the us, we both like we both like Napoli in this game. Is maybe you take them on the pick'em line, so you've got the insurance of a draw and a push should the game finish in a draw, and you can sprinkle a little bit on the money line at plus 161 or plus 171. And if it finishes in a draw, you're going to lose a little bit of pizza money. But if it finishes that Napoli wins, you're winning both those bets. So follow Kevin and I. Let's see how we do on this one. But you look at this Napoli team, and in this competition, they've been nearly flawless. They have won 7 of 8 games. Their only loss was a match day 6 of the group stages, in which they already had the group sewn up. They lose at Liverpool, Anfield 2-0. But in their 7 wins, which includes a sweep of Eintracht Frankfurt over those 2 legs of the round of 16, they have outscored their competition by a 25-4 margin. That is Man City, Bayern Munich dominance, and it's coming from a side who's atop Serie A. All right, boys, let's go to the final game, Real Madrid and Chelsea, the one you've all been waiting for, you Frank Lampard fans out there. The lines on this one, Real Madrid minus 144, the draw plus 281, Chelsea plus 414. And again, a quick recap. These are the openers. Real Madrid are down a bit to 139. The draw is hovering at plus 280, so not much change there. Chelsea have gone from plus 414 to plus 398. We normally see Premier League squads take some money in this competition, so it doesn't surprise me that line's come down a bit. But Bri, I'll go to you first on this one. The champions, Real Madrid, and they're playing against a Chelsea team who are continuing to struggle, and there's been a little bit of reverse line movement in this one. Does that shock you at all?
Look, earlier I talked about Inter being due for some positive goal scoring regression. Well, that brings us, Carm, to our old friends at Chelsea, who are just defying all mathematics here of late by not scoring a single goal in 3 straight matches. It's extremely frustrating. Anyone who's followed this team this year, we've all heard the numbers before. I've gone through them. I feel like every week it seems I talk about Chelsea. Understat now has the Blues having scored basically 13 fewer goals than expected in Premier League action this season. They were certainly a little toothless against Wolves over the weekend, just generating nothing that resembled an attack. Once they went down 1-0, it just seemed like they're like, whatever, we're on to the Champions League. But as I said on the show last week, the previous 2 matches, Chelsea failed to score despite generating more than 2.0 XG both times. And let's not forget what they did to Dortmund, that second leg here in the Champions League. They put 2 goals on the board, overturning a first leg deficit and obviously advancing. Frank Lampard certainly cannot tolerate another goalless effort, can he? We can't forget Real Madrid conceding twice to Liverpool early in that first leg of the round of 16 tie. Of course, they stored back with 5 of their own. And Real Madrid just conceded 3 times over the weekend in a league loss to Villarreal. I certainly would not call them strong at defending in transition. So, I guess I'm a glutton for punishment. I do think Chelsea's going to score here. And I don't think we need to worry about Real Madrid scoring either. You have to go back to 2018, guys, to find the last time they did not score in a Champions League match at home. And prior to that loss to Villarreal, which I mentioned was the 3-2 final for the record, what about what they did in the Copa del Rey? They put 4 goals up on Barcelona in Barcelona, a team that at home had previously only conceded 2 goals all year to Spanish sides. One was a penalty, one was an own goal. So no one's concerned about Real Madrid scoring here. Chelsea's do. So once again, in the words of our friend Pavlos, I don't care who wins. I just see both sides scoring yet again here on Wednesday.
All right, that is Brian Power of WagerTalk. And Pavlos, he's talking about goals being scored. And I see Karim Benzema, anytime goal scorer, plus 110. In the amount of time that we've covered this game, I think he's already scored a brace. Give me your thoughts on this one. Does Benzema find the back of the net?
Quite possibly, but I do have a future on Real Madrid. I think most of us do. This is a tricky match. There's several reasons why I think this is a trap. First of all, I don't like the price. Okay, it's Real Madrid at home. We know Chelsea are struggling. Yes, we know, but Real Madrid are notorious for screwing up at first and then coming back either in the second half or in the second leg to make it right. Now, in the Copa del Rey, as you guys said, against Barcelona, lost the first leg at home 1-0. Then they go to Barcelona, win by 4-0. Earlier against Real Madrid, against Liverpool in the Champions League, 2-0 down in the 14th minute. They went to win 2-5 at Liverpool. Even if you go further back, against Atletico Madrid in the Copa del Rey, they conceded the first goal, then came back to actually win the quarterfinal. Against Villarreal in the previous round of the Copa del Rey, 2-0 down in the first half, then they turned this around 2-3. So there's a number of occasions where Real Madrid don't make a good start in either the match or a 2-legged tie. And then they go to any venue possible, and then they overturn that. So I wouldn't be surprised if somehow Chelsea won by 1-0 here, or a 1-1 draw, or something like that, and then Real Madrid go to London and then beat them by 2 or 3 or 4 goals. So this is a very tricky match in my perspective. I also do think that Chelsea will get on the score sheet. I mean, their numbers simply cannot be this mismatched. At some point, they will have to be, come closer to what reality is. And the reality is that they should be scoring goals. Now, I'm going to take the over 2.5 goals here. But again, I'm not very happy on sides here. I wouldn't be surprised if Real Madrid lost this one and then went on to actually win the tie and move on to the next round. So for me, small stake bet on the over 2.5 goals. I think there's a whole lot of better matches to cap and predict in this coming days.
All right, Pavlos Lagaretos of Sports Memo. Guys, let's get into our recap on today's show. And we'll find out what everyone has up at Wager Talk and Sports Memo. We'll start it off with Kevin.
We got a 5% Champions League top play loaded up for the midweek card. Carmine, 72.7% across all Champions League best bet sides going all the way back to November. So pretty excited about that. Apart from that as well, like we said at the top of the show, we came off another 3-0 sweep in MLS the weekend. We're now 53-29, our last 82 plays in MLS. And for this week only, you can grab the rest of my MLS season right the way through until November for only $199 when using coupon code MLS100. That knocks $100 off the regular price. So make sure and join us for that as we look to ramp things up in the MLS moving into the summer.
All right, and best of luck to you, Kevin. Bri, let us know what you have up at Wager Talk, and we'll have a look at your leans on today's show.
Yeah, you heard me. Obviously, there's the leans, like the both teams to score prop in both those matches. We've got a best bet coming for Wednesday in the Champions League as well. As far as Tuesday night goes, NBA and MLB got a 3-pack. We'll have you covered in both play-in games tonight for the NBA, and then my best bet as well in Major League Baseball. 8-4 the last 9 days on the diamond, and going back to last year's playoffs when I was number one at Wager Talk, we are 65% with all baseball. So looking forward to a big April, Carm, and a big week here on the pitch as well, of course.
All right, let's do it. Best of luck to you. And Pavlos, we'll head over to you.
Yes, I'm 8-1 in Champions League 5% releases this season, 89% hit rate, 35-18 in all 5% this season, which is good enough for number one at Sports Memo. So I do have a 5% for tonight in the Champions League in a package along with two 4% spread bets for today, again, in the Cyprus League and Argentina. I have some nice insights about the Cyprus League. So you can get all these plays for just $39. It's a huge deal, and you can get all 3 plays. I think we're having a massive day tonight.
Love to hear it, man. Get some winners out there, boys. Myself, a couple best bets up in Champions League for today. A 5% play up in the NHL with a bunch of other plays as well, too, NHL client plays. So grab the one-day all access, $39, and you get everything I have loaded today. And hopefully we have a big day. Guys, we're going to be back on Thursday. Nick Borman will jump in to the Sports Memo seat. We're going to do some Europa League games, and then we're going to look at a couple big games that are going on this weekend in domestic league play. For myself, Kevin Dolan, Brian Power, and Pavlos Lagaretos, this is Stoppage Time. Thanks for tuning in, and best of luck with your wagers.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.